يتبعون بعض لو هي so cute. يطلع أعداد كبيرة. واو so cute. ما شاء الله من وين كل هالأعداد طلعت؟ والله يقدرون يطيرون. طبعا يا جماعة حاليا عند منطقة معينة في ليدز. شايفين صفاء السماء وجمالها وزرقتها. المهم حاليا راح نروح للمكتبة اللي موجودة في القارب. طبعا جايز هذا هو القارب تبع الكتب. طبعا هذا كان كامل عبارة عن نهر، لكن الآن في تصليحات وبنايات ما أدري ليش بالتحديد. بس هذا هو القارب. مكتوب شنو Hold Fast Bookshop. خلنا ندخل نشوف شنو فيه موجود. بسم الله. أمشي بسرعة صح؟ راح أخفف السرعة. So excited. Hold Fast Bookshop. How do you fit nearly 4,000 books on a boat? حبيت هذا الفكرة. واو 4,000 books. No way. حبيت. خلنا ندخل. حبيت يا جماعة. خلنا ندخل ننزل تحت نشوف هاي 4,000 بوكس الموجودين هنا. الله الحين من الدرج راح ننزل تحت نشوف الماء. شوفوا بعد يبيعون ورود. حبيت صوت. So hi, my name is Malak. I'm a student here. First off, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Chris from Halifax Books. Yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you, Chris. Chris, like, how would you like to address yourself? Would you like to address yourself as the book owner, the project, or the boat owner, or?
Yeah, I mean, my wife chooses best. I choose random books about snooker that nobody wants, but my wife chooses only good books.
Yeah.
And she's not here at the moment, but I'm Chris. I'm semi. I look after the plants, and I do choose occasionally a good book. But my wife thinks she chooses most of the books.
Okay, that's interesting. That's actually like very inspiring project. This boat things. I've never seen many of it all around the UK.
No.
So is it like a national business or is it individual?
No, it's just an independent business, just us. We've owned the boat for about 14 years. It's a coal barge that we used to live on, but we've changed. It was my wife's idea. She said, let's make it a bookshop.
Yeah.
And we did. I didn't think it would work, but she was right. She's right about a lot of things. But yeah. so it's got a lot of history attached to the boat itself. But and to be honest, we lived on boats for 24 years or something. So it didn't occur to us to do anything but be on a boat because that's all we know really.
Yeah.
So but she's like, we started off, we didn't have that much money when we started, so we started off with mainly second-hand books, but now it's every week she's bought more and more new books, and and I mean we've both read all our lives, but she's a lot faster than me, and she's good at picking books that other people like, I guess. So and so
Like trendy books.
no, but I'd say the opposite actually. I'd say the books that you won't find in the supermarkets and in the in the shops everywhere.
Yeah.
She'll pick books that you might not have seen.
Yeah, like interesting titles.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a lot of celebrity books. Some of them are good, some of them are pretty rubbish. So she avoids ones that, like, just because it gets a lot of traction, don't mean to say it's a good book.
Yeah.
So she chooses books carefully, and that's the good thing about any independent bookshop. Generally, well, I mean, obviously, there's different flavours of independent bookshops, but most of the people who run independent bookshops are generally passionate about the books that they've got because they choose. Every single one is chosen. I think, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like, so she's carefully curated, and she gets a lot of compliments on that. Yeah.
It's unfortunate she's not around today.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
She'll be back later on, but
Really?
sorry about that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I think it's sometimes about what you don't choose is just as important as what you do choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's definitely a thing. Don't just go with something because it's popular. Just you got to think about like whether it's a good book or not. Yeah.
That's true. I agree. Is it true that there is like 4,000 books on this book?
To be honest, it's something like that. Yeah, to be honest, we've never counted them, but yeah, it's in that ballpark. Yeah.
Is there like any maintenance for this book? You know, if the books dust or I've just thought like if a storm comes or anything's happened.
Yeah, well, it used to carry. There's a picture of her there. She used to carry 75 tons of coal, so she's quite a sturdy boat. It's quite 14-foot boat. But there is a lot of maintenance. Every few years you have to get out and paint underneath.
Really?
And like when it rains, like the level goes up, so we have to put an extra step on the.
Okay.
You know, so you can, because it's all about getting on and off safely. And, if it's really windy, sometimes the light bulbs kind of move about a bit, but you know, it's part of an experience. Some people don't like coming on boat, they come on and oh my god, and they're off again, but you can't win everybody, you know, but most people are like, oh, it's actually bigger than I thought down here when they come down, you know, because they see it from outside. There's a water line's about there, so you don't see under the water, obviously. And the waterways all across the UK are like a little parallel universe. You sort of got more wildlife because you've got birds and cormorants and herons and swans and ducks, and we've had the same duck. She's made 2 nests on the boat this year. She's done 4 altogether. If you look on the outside, just as there's a little screen, we've given a little privacy screen, Audrey we call her. So we feel privileged that we've got all this wildlife, nature, because in the city you miss interacting with nature, and on a canal and on a river you're surrounded by it.
It's very lovely.
Thank you.
Really lovely.
Thank you.
So we can end this interview by asking you,
Yeah.
have you got like a book recommendation or your favorite book?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've got lots. I mean, I always used to be a non-fiction reader, but I've tried to read more fiction.
Yeah.
There's a book called Stolen Focus, which is all about how our algorithms and our social media is keeping us online all the time. But and books are a good way of like having a break from that, and just like you know, it's good for your mental health because you're kind of like you can pause over a little sentence and think about how it reflects to you. Like if you're listening to a book or if you're watching, you know, if you're using a device to listen to a book, it's great. I'm not dissing it. Audiobooks. But when you're reading just off a page, you've got full control with your eyes. You can just sort of stop. You know, I mean, I get that some people use the Zoom function to make it easier, and I'm not dissing it. If you're listening, it's still reading. It still does the same things to your brain. But there's something special about a book because it's with us, I'd say, what's your favourite book of mine? That's Fitzcarraldo. So they were really small publishers in London, but they choose really good books. I love snooker, so I'd say Deep Pockets is a good book. There's been lots of books about the history of snooker, but this is something that, you know, a lot of people like. But I love that book. Ways of Being is fantastic. That's one of my favourite non-fiction books. This is a fantastic book, and it's all about more than human intelligence. So like recognising that the human way of seeing and being in the world isn't the only way, and there's a lot of science now talking about how, you know, like the Wood Wide Web with mushrooms like fungi and the mycelium has got intelligence that we just don't recognise because we don't look at it, you know. We only know like less than 1/10 of all the fungi varieties. So, you know, so that's a really beautiful book, and then it really makes you, he's an artist, they're an artist actually, I've got the pronouns wrong there, but that was a really thought-provoking book. But on the fiction side, I'd say one of my favourite books is Penenka. It's fantastic. It's about it's an Irish writer. There's so many great Irish writers, but Ronan Hesse, he wrote this as well, Leonard and Hungry Paul, which has been popular. That's like a hug in a book, and it's just really well written. Just good relationships, good observations on how people talk to each other and how people live with the things that they've done in the past and how they build a future. It's just a beautiful book, Penenka. I love that.
That's interesting, actually.
Yeah. So
now I'm curious about these.
Well, to be honest, a couple of readers who come in the shop and they read a lot of books, they recommended it, so I read it because they said, oh, it's one of my favourite books. So sometimes, you know, it works two ways, because obviously we read a lot of books. That's a beautiful book. It's gentle. It's all the characters like support each other. Is that like more Asian culture? This is it's Korean. Okay, Korean. Yeah, so obviously they invest a lot in their authors and their artists when you think of K-pop and all the rest of it. But this is a beautiful. She's obviously passionate about the art of reading, and it's about an independent book. There's quite a few books about bookshops at the moment, because a lot of people, you know, we do realise it's a nice thing to do is have a bookshop. But yeah, that's a beautiful book. Vic could give you a lot more fiction. That's a good book. This is a local writer, Naomi Booth. She's from York, and it talks about anxiety and obsessive compulsive disorder, thoughts, and new motherhood, and there's some local geography in it. She's really a fantastic writer, and she talks a lot about pregnancy and birth. And we went and did an International Women's Day event with her at the library, and she said that there's a lot of writers write about death, but not too many. A lot of the time when writers talking about birth, they just sort of skip over it a bit. They don't really go into depth and give it more detail, and that's something that she does do in that. So and she does do in her writing generally. So that's great. That was good. David Soleil, that is a bestseller. That's a book that won the Booker Prize. So you probably will see that. I think I've heard of it. Yeah. It's quite spicy, but it's a really, really riveting roller coaster story about a Hungarian man. Well, it starts from when he's a 15-year-old child, when you meet him, and it just goes through his life. It's a really riveting story. I read it really quick, that one. There's
لفة سريعة على الكتب اللي جذبتني. هذا واحد منهم، عن الأخوة، عن الصداقة. كتاب يتكلم عن طفلة في قرية ريفية فجأة اختفت، والكل يحاول البحث عنها في القرية. هذا الكتاب نساء في فترة معينة، أعتقد الجورجية أو الفيكتورية في إنجلترا، يتكلمون عن منظورهم للحياة وتجاربهم. هذا بعد الكتاب غلافة جدا جميل. I have read this book, Blue Sisters, and also this book of the same author, Coco Millers. I love this author so much. Like, she's definitely the best. هذا الكتاب غلافة لوحة فنية، حبيت كثير. هذه كتب المؤلفة التركية أليف شفاك. قرأت أغلب كتبها باللغة العربية. هذه الكتب اللي هو عن فينيس، إيطالي، اللي هو كذا على النهر. هذه كتب إيميلي هنري اللي هم صايرين ترند في التيك توك. قرأت كتاب واحد لها وما عجبني كثير ستايلها. حاليا يا جماعة محتارة بين هالكتابين، حسيت انه جذبوني بس ما اعرف اخذهم او لا.